in Wimbledon's team today. Jones starting his third suspension of the season. He's replaced by Loris Sanchez, who scored the winning goal for Wimbledon in the 1988 Wembley FA Cup final, back after missing the last 2 games. There were late doubts about the fitness of both John Fashanu and Roger Joseph. They'll start the match, but neither may finish it. Indeed, both teams are showing the effects of those marathon midweek FA Cup replays. Leeds are without 3 players from the game against Arsenal, including Gordon Strachan. In comes Scott Sellars, John Newsom and David Rocastle, who gets only his 8th start in a Leeds shirt since his £2 million signing from Arsenal in the summer. And with Carl Schutt a substitute, there's a place too for new signing Frank Strandli, the Norwegian international, who scored on his debut last Saturday. Vic Callow of Solihull, our referee. And the interesting thing will be how emotionally drained are these two sides from their midweek cup exploits. Wimbledon with more cause to be in a positive frame of mind, having been successful against Aston Villa, and through to the next round where they'll play Tottenham. But Leeds probably still a little bit shell-shocked, and very conscious of the fact that 2 defeats may be enough to drop them into the bottom 3 in the Premier League. David Rocastle will be hoping to make a big impression. Free kick. Rocastle pulls it inside 2 of them. Speed's available to help. Lee Chapman underneath it. There was an arm up by Lee Chapman across the shoulders of Brian McAllister, which has been penalised, but Lee Chapman has a fantastic scoring record against Wimbledon. 7 goals in 5 games against them since Leeds came up into the First Division. Earl. Lukic gets rid of it quickly, and that might just catch Wimbledon. Strandli's got away from Scales, but Scales held him. He had his arms round his hips. Vic Callow didn't spot it. Came on as a substitute against Middlesbrough last Saturday and scored Frank Strandli. And it looked as though the bounce of the ball had perhaps beaten John Scales. Now, does he put his... Well, he does. They're almost dancing. But the incident masked from the view of Vic Callow. No offence was seen. With a quarter of the game gone, one can only reflect that it must get better. Ardley's header! Oh, hit the post! That was exactly what the game required after a rather stale first quarter of the match. Play waved on. Well, Neil Ardley, a Wimbledon trainee, just 20 years of age, one of the players who scored in the penalty shootout against Villa, absolutely thumped that header against the post. And that's about as close as you can come without actually scoring. Elkins knocks it in. Oh, it's another good header. Robbie Earl right under the crossbar, and Lukic just tipped it over with his fingers. And suddenly, in the space of just a few seconds, Wimbledon have twice threatened to take the lead. And again, Wimbledon with a lot of players forward for this corner. Dobbs hit his shot down into the turf. McAllister sold it short, he just gave it to Scott Sellars. There was never any chance of it going where it should have done. Strandli. Oh, well done. Batty. Well, the game suddenly snapped into life. Gary Speed. McAllister. Rocastle. Batty. McAllister. Left foot. Oh, what a thumper. Well, he's got a devil of a shot on him, Gary McAllister. As we saw in the replay against Arsenal, that one was left-footed, just a little bit too high. That's a good ball to Sanchez. Well, he tried to get it in early, hit it first time, it just hit the heels of Dorigo. Ardley with the corner. Scales, Robbie Earle, Holdsworth, it's in. Wimbledon have forced it in. An hour played, and finally a goal to light up the match. And somehow it's a goal that has Wimbledon written all over it, doesn't it? They've got so many players forward. Robbie Earle might have got it. The defenders didn't clear it. Holdsworth was on it. And it's his 7th of the season. Chris White got across very well to deny Robbie Earle, but he just knocked it into the path of Dean Holdsworth. That came off Scales. Shut. Hurries to take the throw. Gary McAllister gives it him back. Dorigo. Scott Sellars back to Dorigo into the penalty area. Well, the angle didn't really favour him. He was going away from the goal. Little 1-2. And his touch on the ball just took it a little bit away to the left. Gary McAllister, Scott Sellars, back to McAllister. That was the intention. And he's annoyed that he didn't get a free kick against Fashanu. Here's Robbie Earle. Ardley! Should have scored. Robbie Earle just looking around, and he threads through a neat little ball here for number 7, Neil Ardley. And in the end, it was a couple of feet wide of the bottom of the post. Oh, Chris White thought that the ball was going to carry more than it did. Oh, Lukic comes out and plays a bit of football, my goodness me. Well, all goalkeepers in their heart of hearts want to be outfield players. And Lukic proving he was up to it. Nicked away from Ardley, but it's into the path of Elkins. Fortunately, Lukic had got back from his little foray outside his area. Well, he got back and steadied himself and made a good save. Sam Haman, the owner of Wimbledon, clenched fist to the home support. Chris White, he seemed to wait a bit too long. Chapman, Speed. This is Carl Shutt. Done well, Carl Shutt. Good cross, Gary Speed hit the woodwork. Cleared by Ardley. The whistle's gone. The whistle's finally gone for a foul on number 7, Ardley. But before that happened, Gary Speed was so close to getting the equaliser for Leeds. It was a terrific attack. It's what Leeds have been lacking all afternoon. It was so direct. Speed got a perfect connection, and in fact it's a good save by Hans Seggers. He got a hand to it and pushed it onto the crossbar. 2 minutes of stoppage time, and Gary Speed so desperately close to getting the equaliser. That's a Leeds ball. Well, in the last few minutes of a game that got more exciting the longer it went on, Leeds have been so close to getting the equaliser. And Howard Wilkinson will be as interested in the results from elsewhere at the end of this match as he will be about what's happened here. It's gone straight out of play. Goal kick. Was Fashanu helping? And there's the final whistle. And Howard Wilkinson could have no complaints about the length of the second half. Almost 5 minutes of stoppage time, but it still wasn't enough for his team to get the equaliser. But how close they came. And maybe if there'd been more, well, it's desperate urgency by Leeds in the end, and if they'd started the game that way, maybe they wouldn't have been in trouble. But the net result is that Wimbledon win by 1-0. The goal scored by Dean Holdsworth in the 60th minute, and that's a crushing defeat for Leeds. And now the focus of attention for last season's champions has got to be on staying in the Premier League.
Yeah, we can't kid ourselves on that a side with our capabilities can't go down. You know, we're in a little bit of trouble at the moment. But I feel we've got too many good players to go down. But we must realise that we need points to pull away from the bottom of the table.
Can you put your finger on what's gone wrong? Why you're in this position?
Well, it's very simple. We can't get a win away from home. I think we've got the best record at home in the Premier League now, apart from maybe Man U. So the problem is getting a result away from home.